Hello, everyone. There's no point in waiting for people to join. My channel's really small. I expect people to catch it on the replay. Um, there's a couple things going on in Canada. I know I've been talking about this a lot lately, but I really think the world needs to focus on what's happening here. And for those of you who haven't been following it, I really don't know where your heads have been. um they say ignorance is bliss, and I wish that I was still ignorant to all of the things that have been going on in Canada for the last couple of years. But unfortunately, I have been woken up, and censorship is real, so I have to be extremely cautious in my wording and how things are said and done. I've lost a previous channel just for showing what happened during my time in Ottawa. um, I don't know when the law was passed that it is now a criminal offense to have a difference of opinion than the narrative that is going on with our media, with our institutions, our establishments. But now they want it to be commonly known as, criminal, apparently. I missed that important bill being passed. But I want to talk about Tamara Litch. And for those of you who don't know who she has been, um, closely involved with the Freedom Trucker Convoy that took place in Ottawa at the end of January, starting January 27th. I believe till around, it lasted 3 weeks. So I believe it was ended abruptly around the 20th or 17th of September. I may have the date wrong on the end date. But it ended abruptly and unjustly, in my opinion, as a person that was there. And I just want to talk about, what's been going on. So Tamara was, one of the key, what they call quote unquote organizers of the event. And in my opinion, they are now making an example out of her. Her charges that she has been charged with are counseling to commit mischief, which to my knowledge was not a federal offense, but I don't know. I am no lawyer. I am no legal expert. I'm just a person with an opinion, a Canadian with an opinion. But now what happened, and I'm going to put it in my terms of what I see as an outsider looking in as to what happened. She was nominated for an award, the George Jones Award, and it was for her involvement with the peaceful legal protest. She was released on bail with a long laundry list of conditions that she was not allowed to associate with certain people that were involved in the convoy unless legal counsel was present. So when she got the invitation for this award, she went to the court, she went to her legal counsel. She actually asked permission to attend this event because she didn't want to find herself in the situation that she's now in today. So she got that permission and she was allowed to go to this event. And what happened was she took a picture with a person named Tom Razzo, who was also involved with the convoy. He was the liaison between the people and the police. And because of a simple picture that was posted on social media, she is now back in jail. The Ontario Ottawa police flew 3 detectives, 2 who are homicide detectives, which maybe someone can explain this to me who knows the law better, but I don't understand why homicide detectives are involved in, a provincial misdemeanor. But, again, I'm no lawyer, I'm no expert. Maybe if somebody has that inside knowledge, they can explain it to me and make it make sense, because right now it doesn't. They flew to Alberta to detain Miss Leach, and her bail has been denied. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out about this, okay? First of all, she got permission to go to the event. Second of all, she wasn't to speak with any of the other, people that were involved in the convoy without the presence of legal counsel. At the table next to hers, or at her very own table, there was a full team of legal counsel there. All the lawyers were present. So at no point during this ceremony, this award ceremony that she was given an award for, were they ever alone without the presence of counsel. So because somebody posted a freaking picture of her and Tom Marazzo, the courts have now put her back in jail and denied her bail because, oh my God, okay, calm down. Because they didn't like it. The amount of things that they have done to this woman, I don't know how she has the perseverance to keep going on, because I know what it's like to be a target. And I've said before in my lives that they always go after the persons with the loudest voice, that carry the loudest echo. And I am by no means that person, but I know what it's like to be censored. I have been in Facebook jail so much that, like, they were literally going through my entire timeline back years and finding reasons to put me in Facebook jail. Like, it's the mockery of what it has become to have an opinion that is no longer socially acceptable by these, HACs, let's call them that. So because of the picture, she has been denied bail. They want to hold her in jail, until her trial, which may be 2023 or 2024. And not only that, the Crown prosecutor is seeking 10 years for counseling to commit mischief. 10 years. Now, for people that don't know the story, she has not even got to enter her plea yet. We're talking about bail. Like, the lack of due process. Every single person has the right to an unprejudicial justice system, and that is not happening here. And I don't understand it. We have political prisoners that are in jail. Pat King is one of those people. He is still sitting in jail. He has been in jail for, I believe, over 125 or 130 days now, just for counseling to commit mischief. Now, his case is a little bit different. I believe that there's some other additional charges there. I don't really know. There is a publication ban on his case, and that's simply because, again, people have an exuberant amount of time on their hands to go through years and years worth of social media postings to find any sort of information that they can on you, to make you look like you are not credible, to make you look like you are crazy, to make you look like you are a racist, misogynist, what else do they call us? The fringe minority with unacceptable views. Well, you know what? I happen to be a critical thinker. I am a human being with feelings and with thoughts and opinions. And I have done my own research, and things did not add up. And because of that, because you have questions, or because you dare to question, the establishment on these unlawful actions that they are not only doing, but complicit in doing, then you are the criminal. Well, I got news for you people. I am no criminal. I have no criminal record. I don't even have, knock on wood, a speeding ticket on my thing, on my, whatever you call it. I'm a law-abiding citizen who happens to not agree with the BS that has been dumped on us for the last couple years. And they're already telling us now that we are going back into lockdown. They're not using those words, but read between the lines, okay? They're telling us that a new variant is coming come fall. They're already talking about, making the masks come back. That's why they're refusing to drop all the mandates, because, at a moment's notice, they're going to. And for those of you who don't understand, like, oh, why do you care? Ontario within Canada, okay? Quebec, I think, was it. They even had a curfew, okay? A curfew. Grown-ass adults had a curfew, and I believe it was 8:00 p.m., but I could be wrong. So don't you dare be seen on the streets walking your dog because your dog has to go pee, after 8:00 at night, because God forbid the militia will come out and tackle you, and, things will happen unfavorably. We weren't at the point of curfew. It was something that they actually did discuss at one point. Our premier of Ontario went on national television and said that if you are out past a certain time, that the police will stop you. And that's the only time I've ever seen the police stand up and say, "Nah, we ain't doing that." It was so bad that I actually had to carry around a letter written from my employer because I was on afternoons at the time. And at that time, we were done at 2 a.m. in the morning. So it was like, oh my God. My employer wrote us a note like from your parents, like you used to have to take to school, you know what I mean? To say that this person is not out unlawfully, that we are part of, the essential workers, because at first we were not deemed essential workers. But, then after 4 months, they decided that magically we were, got to get those cars made, people. That's essential. But I digress. So work literally wrote me a get out of jail free card saying if she stopped after 2 a.m., she was at work. This is the like I make jokes and I laugh about it, but it really wasn't funny. Making kids in school wear masks, trying to keep kids at a social distance. Like, never mind the economical damage that they've caused. We're never going to get out from underneath this debt that our prime minister has inflicted upon this country. Millions and millions of dollars were sent out in relief and continue to be sent out to other countries in foreign relief, which, again, I have to be careful of what I say. But say you have a laundromat and you take your dirty clothes in and you come out wanting cleanliness out of the laundromat. Do you know where I'm going with this? Read between the lines, okay? It's an analogy. I take my clothes to the laundromat every week, you know? So there you have it. That's what I think, without saying it. But if you know, you know. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. The rights that have been taken away from this woman. This woman is a Métis woman. She's, I believe, in her 50s. She's a grandma. She has no previous criminal record. And now, simply because, the PM's ego got hurt, they are now holding her as an example of this is what's going to happen to you if you speak up, if you stand up for your basic human rights. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's to the point that I'm actually considering wanting to move the hell out of Canada, not just across the country, but seriously out of the country. I see where things are going. I see the writing on the wall. I don't want to have any part of it, and I kind of want to just be as far away from it all as possible. And a lot of people are fleeing Canada that have been involved in these legal protests. It's within our Charter of Rights. So basically, our Constitution states that in a free democracy, we as citizens have the right to legally protest, which it was legal, by the way, to voice our opinions. But if you do, you better be careful because they will illegally seize your bank accounts based on hearsay. It's going through Parliament right now, through the House of Commons, and they're looking at the decisions that were made. And, the naive part of me, the one that believes that there's good in the world and that there's justice in the world and that people are going to do the right thing and speak up. No, they're hiding behind cabinet confidentiality. So then, this commission is questioning everybody from the top down, why were these decisions made? And it's all coming out in the wash. That little laundromat thing we were talking about. That it has been deemed legal protest, that the actions that were taken were more so out of, well, in my opinion, they were taken out of power and control, and because somebody's little boo-boo ego got hurt, he has a little owie, and he didn't like it. And because of that, they're going to nail this woman to the wall. And, might I add that the Crown prosecution on this case, that's presiding this case, is asking for 10 years for this woman, which is not even a federal offense to counsel and or commit mischief. but it hasn't even been deemed through the courts that that's what she's done, because she can't even get to the trial because they're still fighting about bail. Bail. It's so fucking insane. I can't even believe it. And, if people aren't mad at this point, then you haven't been paying attention. Because if it can happen to her, it's going to happen to fucking you. And don't cry when it does. If you're not doing anything, I've always been one to stand up for the fucking underdog. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Because it's cost me more shit in my life than it has good. But it's who I am. If I see something wrong, or if I see somebody being treated unfairly, I stand up and I speak up. That's the way that I was fucking taught from the time that I was a kid. That's what my mom taught me to do. And I'm only doing what's right. And when you do that, when you're the one to speak up, when it's not the popular opinion, they look at you as if you're the problem, as if you're the troublemaker, as if you're the one in the wrong. Well, I got news for you. I'm not changing. And if you don't like it, you know where the fucking block button is. Or to my friends watching this, because I have like people in my real life that actually have my YouTube channel. If you guys know how I roll, if you don't like me, don't find me. If you find me offensive, quit fucking finding me. Bottom line. But I'm always going to be that person that stands up for what is fucking right, even if people think it's wrong. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't mind eating at the table alone. In fact, these days, I prefer it because you can't trust anyone. People are people. They're selfish. They're ignorant. They're going to look out for themselves. And when, push comes to shove and, shit gets real, you find out who was real and who was faking. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. But this shit, I've always had a passion for justice, the law, and basic humanity. Okay. And if you see something wrong, you fucking say something. If you don't, you are part of the problem. And that's what's been happening. And, now it's funny because I follow all these, what they call freedom fighters. And really, it's just people with opinions that are standing up for what's fucking right. Okay. But everyone's like, oh, we need to all come together. We need to rise up. We need to stand up. Well, somebody take charge. And I'll tell you why nobody is. It's because look what's happening to Tamara Leach and to fucking Pat King. They're sitting behind fucking jail cells right now with no release date in sight because they have the loudest voices with the loudest echoes. I'm pretty sure that if one person said tomorrow, okay, this is the time and date, this is what's going on, millions and millions of people would flock there in a fucking heartbeat, but nobody knows what to do. So quit your fucking bullshit with, oh, why is nobody doing anything? Because they don't want to lose everything. They don't want to lose their homes. They don't want to lose their fucking jobs. We've already been forced into submission to take this damn shot that we didn't want. Either take it or you have no job. Oh, okay. So, I have no second income. What does that tell you? I can't sit at home for months at a time and rely on someone to take care of me because I don't agree with it or I'm concerned about the ingredients that may be in a certain thing. You can't even say the word because you get censored or labeled or, my last channel, I was a threat to society because I was spreading truth. People are allergic to the truth these days. Okay, well, let's sugarcoat it. Well, geez, I really don't like what I'm being forced into doing, but I'm going to go along with it anyways because I don't want to live in a box on the street with my dog. Okay, so there's your sugarcoating. I don't like what I see. I see the writing on the wall. It's only getting worse, not better. Politicians, police, all of the institutions, the banks illegally froze people's bank accounts based on hearsay. They had no directive. It was something that they did because people donated to a cause that they believed in. And because they donated to a cause that they believed in, they had their bank accounts frozen. People have lost their homes and their livelihoods because of this. People that were involved in this are living in their cars. And before anyone's quick to laugh, I want to point out that the record high inflation that Canada has seen since April alone, which is 8%, which is a record high. Before you laugh and say, oh, how could that happen to someone? Very fucking easily. Very fucking easily. It could happen to anybody. And I'll tell you what, especially if you're a single income household, even if you make good money, the amount that rent is these days, food, gas is through the fucking roof. They're just hitting you from any angle. And it's absolutely insanity. And if someone doesn't take a stand, we're all going to fall. And that's what they want. It's part of the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab has been on a world stage stating that you will own nothing and be happy. That people within the cabinets within our country have already been compromised. Well, his words were, and I quote, your cabinets have been infiltrated. But yet there's no investigation because they're all above the law. Well, I want to have one of these get out of jail free cards that these people seem to have. Yeah. If I had to go and laminate one from Monopoly to get out of the trouble that these people are doing, be breaking the laws, in my opinion, in my very humble opinion. Those are the crimes against humanity that I'm seeing. And if this channel goes, so be it. I could care less. I've lost other channels before. It's really no sweat off my back. I'm not monetized. I don't plan to become monetized. I'm not, looking for anything out of this except to wake people up. And that's what you have to question yourself, what are people in this for? I have absolutely nothing to gain and absolutely everything to lose, and I could give 0 fucks. I've lost things that I thought I couldn't live without, and here I am still kicking. So go ahead, take my material possessions. Fuck it. I could care less. Throw me in jail at this point. If we're going back into lockdown, I might as well be in jail because that's what it is. When you have to carry a letter from your employer stating that you're not breaking the law, that you've just been released from work. And if that's what we're heading, count me out. Count me out, man. I'm starting to understand more the rest of the world because this shit. Now, I don't know anything about the Cuba City. Being on your own away from all of this sounds like more and more appealing to me every day. And I wish I could go back to being blissfully ignorant, and not being aware of what's happening and, doing my research. And it's just, oh, it's maddening, and this is happening in Canada. Like, you think that the way that I'm talking, this would be some third world country. Well, that's what they're trying to make Canada. Canada, of all fucking places, okay? When have you ever seen thousands and thousands of people come together in the middle of winter in minus fucking 40 weather, dancing and singing and crying and laughing and drinking in the streets because we were in lockdown for so long that it was so amazing to be normal again for 5 minutes, and they want to make it that we're the criminals? Get the fuck out of here. If being criminal to them means having a difference of opinion and meaning that, I'm the asshole because I have questions and I have concerns and I have issues and I have evidence and I have information that dictates different to the narrative that they're pushing, and that makes me a criminal, then I guess by all terms and definitions of our establishment, then I'll wear that title happily. If that's what makes me a criminal, by being a law-abiding citizen, by having no criminal history, but just by simply being a free and independent thinker who has taken the time to look at both sides of the situation and is like, well, wait a second, something isn't adding up here, then so be it. I will wear that title because at the end of the day, whether people agree with me or they don't, I'm fighting for your fucking rights too. And I'm fighting for your kids' rights. And I am so, so glad that I had the foresight 20 and 25 years ago to be like, you know what? I'm not bringing a kid into this world. And I didn't even know half back then that I know now. Okay. But I was just like, no, I don't want kids. And thank God, because what this world is going to look like for the future generations of these kids growing up, I can't even wrap my head around what that might look like. I seriously can't, nor do I want to. And I'm concerned because my brother is, how old is he? I don't know, 43, 44. He just had his first kid. And I'm happy that he did, I'm glad for him. But like, I'm scared for her. Because again, what is this world going to look like in 20 years? They're just trying to railroad us here. And it's like, between our little egomaniac PM and the senile one in the US, Like, what is this world coming to? No wonder why we're in the state we're in. I think in order to be a part of the institutions or establishments, you need a full psychological, financial analysis that needs to be disclosed to the entire fucking population to scrutinize and see if you're even fit to be in the position that you're in. I don't think that's too much to ask. You know, as people, as individuals, we have to do our taxes every year. We have to disclose to, our friends, the establishment, how honest we are. Sorry to laugh at that one, but okay, you know, but they don't have to disclose their information. I think anybody that's part of the WEF needs to be removed from their positions indefinite and never be allowed back, because you don't have the interest of the human population at hand. You have what's best for your future and your pension and what's coming for your agenda, not for the constituents that you are supposed to represent. It's a failure from the top to the bottom. And if these people aren't held accountable, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Let me give you another story off topic for just 1 second. I don't even know why I follow these people. It's called Ottawa Citizen. It's a news media outlet. And I laugh when I say that because we all know that the media is bought and paid for by the federal government. They received a $600 million bailout. Now we know why. However, there was a story off topic for 1 second about a woman who became a prostitute. And so she was, saving she was saving her pennies in a shoebox, and it accumulated to $80,000. Well, when her money went missing, she recruited some individuals, and this is only going on by what the news media may not be true. But according to the Ottawa Citizen, when her $80,000 went missing, she blamed her boss, which I believe they are referred to as pimp. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but there it is. That's what it is. Facts. Look up the definition. Okay. She recruited some people to have a conversation with her boss. Okay. Well, this ended badly for the boss. She got sentenced before the people that actually committed the crime. The boss is now sleeping with the fishes. The people that actually committed the crime are nowhere to be found and or held accountable for their actions. But the girl, the prostitute, the hooker, the lady of the streets, whatever you call her, got sentenced to 3.5 years in jail. Do you realize that her involvement, like, she actually made the situation happen? I'm sure she didn't declare those on her taxes, that income. you know so where's the establishment on that one? But she got 3.5 years for, I don't know what the term is. I don't know what her official charges were, and I don't want to speculate. But from reading the article, they failed to include, like, what her actual charges were. But she was sentenced to 3.5 years, I guess, for her role, is what they said, her role in the incident. Okay. While the offenders themselves are still at large and or not found or identified. So she only got 3.5 years for that, because poor her, oh my God, like, oh, this is what she had to do to survive, and oh my God. But, for someone who is on a misdemeanor charge, counseling to commit mischief, which we don't even know that she's actually guilty of, the Crown prosecutor wants 10 years. So do you realize the message that this is sending to people? That it's okay to, what is the word? To get people involved to take care of your street beefs because of your illegal money, that you charge people for sexual favors is okay, and you only get a slap on the wrist for 3.5 years because, oh my God, you poor woman, you did what you had to do to survive. But, speak up against the establishments and you're going to get 10 years. And the Crown prosecutor donated $17,000 to the Liberal Party. So let that sink in. And the judge also is a supporter of the Liberal Party. So if you're trying to tell me that this woman is about to get a fair trial in our nation's capital, then I got a bridge to sell you. Okay. And it's bedazzled and it's silver and it's blinking and it's whatever you want it to be. I'll sell it to you, you know, because you are the biggest suckers that I've ever met in my entire freaking existence. And let me tell you, I have come across some characters in my day. I'm telling you right now, it's insanity. And what is happening is insanity. Like, if this doesn't piss you off, you haven't been paying attention. Because, like I said before, if it can happen to her, it's going to happen to you. And you know what? I've always been one of those people throughout my entire fucking life, because I've always stood up for the underdog, that they try and make an example of. Sometimes I take my lumps, and other times I'm like, nah, fuck you guys. I'm not. Because I wasn't wrong and you guys are. And I don't care what you try to do to me, what you say about me, how you tarnish my reputation, whatever. Think what you want. Because at the end of the day, you don't pay my bills. You don't pay my rent. And at the end of the day, I really could give zero fucks what people think about me, because I'm not in it for you to like me. I don't care. I don't trust anyone anyways. So, take your fake friendship and stab someone else in the back, because that's how you guys roll. That's not how I roll. When I say it loud and proud. And I don't need a panel of fucking people to tell me or say it for me or to make it look good, or, I got my own mouth and I use it, and it gets me in trouble and it gets me out of trouble. But I am who I am, and I'm not changing for anybody. And if you don't like it, get fucked. That's just the way it is. So this is what's been going on. They want to make it pretty much illegal. No, no, no. Let me rephrase it. They look down on people for flying our national Canadian flag. It's a symbol of freedom. And that's a fucking no-no, because they don't want a democratic society anymore. Fuck the people and fuck what you got to say. You see something, you say something. No, no, those days are gone. We don't want that anymore. You are beaten down into submission. They take every single thing away from you. Your home, your livelihood. They freeze your bank accounts unlawfully. They make you lose your jobs, and then they deny you the right to a fair trial or due process. Come on, man. Like, am I crazy? Like, seriously, because I've spent a lot of time like, dude, am I seeing something wrong? Am I missing the bigger picture here? Trying to talk to my dad about this is like trying to talk to a brick wall. He's just so in denial about what's really going on. And maybe for him, that's the way he wants it. So be it. You're not going to reach everybody. But my boss gave me some good advice one day, and it's stuck with me for the entirety of my life. It's the 80-20 rule, okay? There's 10% of the people in the world that don't care what you do. No matter what you fucking do, no matter what you say, they're not going to be happy. Then there's 10% of the people that just don't care. They got, other things to worry about their getting their hair did and their nails did and their fake eyebrows and their fake fucking hair extensions. They're superficial people. They don't care about real world issues, whatever. You focus on the 80% that are like, you know what, something just isn't right and it's not sitting right with me. You focus on the 80. And like, I'm not joking when I tell you I've lost real life friends over this. And at the end of the day, I really don't care. Because, like, if you're so easily offended about an opinion that's different from yours, how do you learn anything in life? Or are you happy being stuck in your little narrow-minded existence? You just have tunnel vision and you're not willing to look outside of it. I don't know how somebody can be that oblivious to things. And if you care to share some insight with me about how you manage to walk through life with blinders on, do tell. Because I would love to know it. I would love to just be like, oh, I don't care. Like, oh my God, I have to get my nails done. Like, oh, that's the biggest problem you got in life. Oh my God. Holy shit. Let's laugh about it. Because what else can you do? I have spent the last couple years thinking about this shit. I have gotten angry. I've gotten depressed. And there's a thing called mass psychosis. It's something that the establishments do by first creating an emergency, if you will, aka a pandemic. They create mass hysteria. They create panic. They create uncertainty. We're not sure of what tomorrow's going to bring. We've never seen anything like this in our lifetime. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's panic mode, panic mode. And then when they create this state of hysteria, of psychosis, if you will, because it's a real fucking thing. And I just actually recently learned about it. And thank God that I did. Um, it's easier to manipulate someone when your senses are down, when your guard is down. And that's what's been happening. And I don't know if you guys know who Jordan Peterson is, but he's the one that woke me up to this. And Brian Peckford and Danny Bulford. There's a couple guys out there. Brian Peckford is the absolute most amazing Canadian iconic hero, in my opinion. He is the last living signatory on our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and he is suing the federal government for breaching those, during the pandemic. And I can't wait to see how that plays out, because no court, it's the highest court of the land. They went into territories that they had no business doing under the guise of public health and safety measures, but they're about to be held accountable for their actions. And if it were up to me, no mercy given. There would be no mercy. I believe in law, even if it's not on the favor of us. But I have to believe that one day things are going to come out, and I hope those people are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law, with no mercy for the people that they're showing in those positions right now. I hope that nobody has to suffer the way that these people and others have suffered. Um, you know, it boggles my fucking mind. It really does. Like, oh my God. I wish I could go back to life before this and not know what I'm knowing now and not see what I'm seeing now. Look at the Netherlands. They jammed up the highways with all farm equipment because now they're going after the farmers. So, let's take away everyone's human rights. Let's make it so living in a house is luxury. Let's make it so food is a luxury, not a necessity, not a commodity. I don't know if you guys heard, but like yesterday, Canada, or half of Canada, was without cell phone and internet coverage because one of the big corporations monopolizes the market. So like stores were actually closed yesterday because some people don't believe in carrying cash anymore. Well, there's your idea of your cashless society. Okay. And this is what's coming. This is what they want. They want digital IDs. You will own nothing and be happy. Get it, India, whether you like it or not, because this is what's happening. And if you don't stand up for it, then you're going to get railroaded. And even if you do stand up for it, at this point, if this is the way life is in Canada, then I might as well be in jail, as long as I can take my damn dog. Seriously, like where I go, he goes. We're a package deal, and that's the way it is. And if I can't take my dog, I'm not going. So it's just, I don't know. Like, you have to vent to somebody. My friends are sick of hearing about it. The ones that haven't, turned their back on me because, oh, Kim has lost it. No, Kim has not lost it. That's what they want you to think. I'm actually, when you have this inner conflict going on and you're questioning your sanity and you're like, oh my God, am I seeing something that other people are not? No, that is exactly where they want you to fucking believe that you are. So nobody believes you. And I'm telling you right now, that is your body's reaction saying to you that there's something not right and you don't know what it is and you can't articulate it into fucking words because it's so deep and it's so corrupt that you don't want to accept what's actually happening. I get it, 100 million fucking percent. But I'm telling you, when you are in inner conflict, that is your body's way of telling you something isn't fucking right here. And they want you to think you're crazy, but you're not. You're right over the fucking target. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying so hard to silence you. Hello? Like, I'm just, I've done what I can do on my end, you know. Um, I spread the truth as I see it, in my opinion. This is what I see happening as a Canadian citizen, as a person who is somewhat intelligent, I would like to think. I'm a rational person. I am willing to listen and look at both sides of the situation because for this particular situation, I have been on both sides. Because in the beginning, I followed their public measures and I followed their medical recommendations. And I was scared too, because I had never seen anything like this in my lifetime. But then things didn't add up. And when things start to not add up, you start looking at the other side. And when they're trying so hard to silence the other side, I don't know about you, but as my for myself, I'm like, well, what are they trying to hide? Because if there wasn't an ounce of truth to it, then why are you removing it? Why are you censoring those people if they're not telling the truth? It doesn't make any logical sense. And there's nothing that anybody can say to me that would make it make sense because I have looked at this from a million and one different ways. So it's insanity. But I want to talk about yesterday because, like I said, we had no cell service, we had no internet, and debit was down. Well, that just goes to show you right there, the skeptic in me, my first reaction when I got to work and there was Wi-Fi, I was like, what happened in this world today that they don't want us to know about? Honest to God, that was my first reaction. I don't even want to say the word, the T word, because that'll get me flagged and, all kinds of things. But it's like, what happened that they're trying to silence? Or what are they trying to do? Is this a trial run? Is this a test run? Um, they're pushing the electric car. So, like in order to make that happen, they have to make gas so absolutely insanely expensive and not affordable that the average person won't be able to go back and forth to work. I commute to work. It costs me $100 a week to commute back and forth to work, 20 minutes one way and back. So 40 minutes a day. Well, the way that I drive. I better not say that, but yeah, like I mean, these are real world issues that affect real world people, and I am just a regular fucking person. I'm nobody fancy. I am just one person supporting myself. I got no other income. You don't see a cash app or anything flying around on my channel. I'm not monetized, nor will I ever be monetized on this platform. I have no interest in receiving money from somebody that censors what I say or will try to dictate what I say. They're not my employer. So if I want to say that the sky is green, if I can prove it, then in my opinion, the sky is green. And if you don't like it, I'm not cashing your checks because I'm no fugazi, okay? I am who I am, and if you don't like it, see you later. But again, I'll just say, as I wave with my, middle finger at you, that I'm fighting for your rights and freedoms too. And one day, whether you agree with me or not, you're going to thank me, or your kids are going to thank me for not being the fucking bulldoze type that'll just stand back and watch this shit happen and not say anything. I'm never going to be that fucking person. And if you can't stand up for yourself, then I got no fucking respect for you and don't expect me to fight for you anymore. And there's some people that this applies to and they know who they are. And I don't need to call anybody out because that's from a former life that I don't care to relive anymore. But if you know, you know. So I got the balls that the guys don't have to stand up and say, this isn't right. What you're doing is wrong. And dare I say, not legal or unlawful at best, But I've seen firsthand how far they're willing to take things. I was there the day that they closed Ottawa down. And let me tell you, they brought cops in on horses to trample the crowd. A lady, a native indigenous woman, was trampled on a walker by a horse. They used horses as weapons to use against their own citizens. Are you kidding me? If the shoe was on the other foot and it was the police that stood up and said, this isn't right, we're not going to implement these unlawful orders because they had a decision to make and they chose the wrong side, and that's something that they're going to have to sleep with at night. But if the shoe was on the other foot and the citizens brought in horses to trample the police, Hell hath no fury. It would have been attempted murder. It would have been, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but every single crime that could be committed against humanity has been done. And unless you were there to see it and still be traumatized by that, because let me tell you, that image does not leave your mind. When you've got a sonic boom radar machine in your face, you guys know what that is? I had to look it up because I didn't even know what the hell this machine was that I was seeing, that I was staring straight in the face. And all I kept thinking to myself was, we're in Canada. Like, what the fuck? It deafens you. They blast it off. So it makes you go deaf. This is Canada. This isn't some third world country halfway around the world. Like, and if my American brothers and sisters that are watching right now, this is going to happen there. Except you guys have a stronger and upholding constitution that you guys hold to the utmost respect, and that's what we're trying to do here. Yet we're deemed as criminal and you know uh racist and misogynist. I'm a woman. How could I be a misogynist? We're what else? The fringe minority with unacceptable views. Well, you know what? That fringe is growing every single fucking day because people see what's going on. If they didn't before, they sure do now. And again, if this doesn't make you mad, then share your secret. What is it? You know, you got money, you got assets. How would you feel if the government came in and took your shit tomorrow? You still gonna be that same person? You know, sitting on your gold mine and and your multiple houses and all your assets when they're frozen by the state? Because that's what we're in now. That's where we're at. You disagree with them, you're vocal about it, and you lose your shit. And there's not a single thing that you can do. And they will tie it up in litigation for years until you run out of every single resource that you have to not be able to fight back, and boom, you lose. This is not done by accident, people. It's done by design. That there's something bigger and something more corrupt happening here. Then, like I said before, I got a fucking bridge neon lights and it says, "Come here, you fucking idiot, because I'm gonna take your money and you're gonna like it and be happy and own nothing." Well, you know, I don't know what country I want to move to, but I want to go somewhere else. Okay, the country that I used to love has been ran into the ground by a bunch of ego little toddlers who, if he don't like what you says, he just straight up and runs out of parliament. I swear to God, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I swear to God. If he's in a debate with somebody, honest to God, if you don't believe me, you can watch our parliamentary proceedings on CPAC, CPAC, and just put in YouTube like Trudeau running out of Parliament. I swear to God, you'll see it. I can't even say it with a straight face. I seriously can't. Can you imagine the president giving like state of the address or something? And being like, "I don't like what you said. I'm out of here," and just running away, like turning around and running away. Like, can you imagine that for a second? And this is who's running our country. Is a glorified toddler. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Honest to God, you guys, look it up. If you think for a second that I'm not telling you the truth, because I know like I'm laughing, but you gotta laugh. Like, you got to laugh at this because it will get into your head. But I'm telling you, Google it. And when you do, post the link on the comments when this posts on my channel, because I'm telling you, he runs away like a toddler. "Oh, I didn't get my way and I don't like what you're doing to me, so I'm just gonna leave," and faces no results to his actions. Like, listen, pretend I'm at work, okay, one day, and my boss tells me to do something that I don't like, or my coworkers. And if I just turned around and up and ran out without saying a word to anybody, like, what would happen to me next day at work? Would I face trouble or would I not face trouble? I would totally face trouble, and we all know it. Because there's consequences to your actions in life, whether you're a police officer, a judge, a fucking PM, or anybody. I don't care who you are. We all bleed the same color, which also means we should all be held to the same fucking regard in terms of the law. The law is supposed to be unprejudicial. That's the funny thing about law. But yet, here's this hypocrisy that we're living in where it's okay for certain people of a certain stature or of a certain you know, group or establishment to be held to different accountability. And when you do that, you're on a dangerous slope for setting precedent. And when you set precedent, other people can use that in a court of law to get off of the same charges that you're trying to hold people accountable for. So I hope that the powers that be that watch my little tiny ass channel that I have been reduced to because I speak too much truth for people that like to live in darkness. Well, you know what? That's maybe where you belong because there's no saving you. I've tried, and I'm no Superman. I'm waiting for Superman to come in and save the day. Okay, but there's no Superman and there's no one coming in to save the day. And nobody's going to save you from this country or the people, the fucking toddlers that are trying to run it either. You either stand up for what's right or you're going to get bulldozed. And if you get bulldozed, don't come to me running afterwards crying about, oh, blah, blah, blah. How did this happen? You've had 1,000,001 signs that you've chose to ignore. And if you do, it's on you. Wear it. Wear your fucking badge with honor. That you decided ignorance was bliss. Well, when you're living next door to me in a cardboard box, then you can fucking cry to me, okay? Because until then, I really don't care. I'm sick of the bleeding hearts. No more bleeding hearts for me. That door is closed, okay? Now I fight for things that really matter. Because fighting about a fucking has-been Z-list fucking celebrity, you know, that been there, done that, but I believe that war prepared me for a much bigger war. And it's one of a psychological ideology nature. And that's what's happening. And I care more about real world things that are actually going to affect my life, my choices, my decisions, my livelihood, my roof over my head, my job. Those are things that I care about. Real fucking world issues. So having said that, I think I've said enough. I've given enough content to, the fact checkers of the world to go through my content and say that I, once again, am a threat to society for spreading truth and awareness. Um, and if that's what it means by speaking up by things that I have personally witnessed and seen and educated myself about, then I will accept that. So, see you on the next one. Peace out, bitches. Thanks for listening to me rant.